what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett, representing JVS. So I'm back here again for another review for the DC Vertigo adaptation, The Kitchen. So, The Kitchen is directed by Andrea Berloff. She is, notable writings would be, the biggest writing would probably be The World Trade Center and Straight Outta Compton. But this is her directorial debut. So, for the cast alone, I was very interested and intrigued. The only one I was kind of a little bit apprehensive because she normally just does a lot of comedy, and only comedy. I haven't seen her in a serious role yet up until this point was Tiffany Haddish. But the cast around is Elisabeth Moss, Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish. You got actors like Common, and then you also got Domhnall Gleeson and some other notable, interesting surprises. But I will say that there were some very good performances. Specifically, I will say, from Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish's character, Ruby, comes off very, initially, no nonsense, but at the same time, like, feeling of oppression and just, like, dealing with the social and ethnic, like, limitations there. And by the end of the movie, like, it's very interesting what they do with her character as well as all the other girls. I think Melissa McCarthy has some amazing scenes. Like, there's one scene, I would say, man, towards the second and third act that were very thought-provoking, very in your face, and it was very well acted. Elisabeth Moss' character was very interesting as well because her character was more of like the timid side, and I think they play up her character very well because of a certain turnaround that happens. And when the turnaround happens, it's so visceral and in your face, and I think it was directed well and executed very well. It's also it's kind of like, I say, Melissa McCarthy's character I felt for the most. But then when I think about the other characters, like, I felt for them equally as much, but just in different ways. Every single one of these girls, you can distinguish the differences and the reasons why they work together and the reason why they thrive together. And I think from a chemistry standpoint, they all work very well. Specifically, I would say Tiffany Haddish and Melissa McCarthy, they just are nailing it. And Elisabeth Moss, she can just engulf a scene in and of itself anyway. Domhnall Gleeson, oh my gosh, his role in this one, I want to say this is his most interesting role that I think he's taken, and I love him for it. Like, because he really commits to it, and it's like, I don't think I've ever seen him like this, to be quite honest with you. It's funny because I think that the only role that I've seen him just go out there with would be Hux, even though Hux from the Star Wars series is not like, you know, his best performance, but it's just so out there different, that I really respect him for his role specifically in this specific one. But you have Claire, Kathy, and Ruby, and they are in the I don't want to even give the era. I would say the 70s. And they're dealing with being surrounded by husbands that are surrounded into the mobster life. And what happens is, through a series of events, they have to go and live out and deal with, and you seem like you've heard this before. I would say Steve McQueen did a really interesting take on that. I think he had one of the best films last year. But this is profoundly different because this movie has a lot of dark comedy, some very interesting scene choices, really interesting script, and I think that it has some of the better mobster-based moments that I've seen in quite some time, specifically with a female cast. I think that they do a really good job with it. And the thing that tears this movie down a couple pegs would be, in my personal perspective, the time. The movie is only an hour and 42 minutes, and I think that the movie itself, if certain things wouldn't have been put into exposition and paced out very quickly, and it seems like it's also edited in a way that certain dialogue was just stripped away really quickly just for the next scene progression to move forward. If the movie was kind of thinned and progressed a little bit more naturally and it's a little bit longer, it could be on that Godfather level. I really do feel that way because in the beginning of the movie, I was kind of like, what am I watching? Like, what the heck is this? Like, is this really like a Sin City kind of situation? Like, I don't know what's really happening, because this doesn't seem like a monster type movie. This doesn't, I don't know what's really happening. It's actually kind of funny, you know. And to a point in the third act, I asked one of my homeboys, Eris's Three-Back Geeks, I was like, how did we get here? Like, legit, how did it get this serious? Like, how did things literally get here? And I literally question that. And I love that about this film, because it goes from zero to that. And it tells you some really interesting things, and the story and the plotting. And I think that there's some interesting twists that happen that I didn't foresee, and some certain character choices that I didn't foresee, and also some things that do happen that I was like, oh my goodness. And so I really did enjoy this film, but I think that I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and I think it would definitely get more critical acclaim if it was spaced out a little bit longer, if it was fleshed out like maybe like a 2-hour 30-minute arc, where instead of like a lot of like exposition or like a flash forward when there's like a montage going on, instead of like a montage like that, let's see the ramifications of this, let's see the ramifications of that. And they do pace that out eventually. Like certain parts in the second and third act, you really do see payoffs to certain things, even in the exposition, even in the certain montage moments. You do see defining things that happen. But if you miss a step, or if you're not paying attention to the whole entire movie, you're gonna miss a person's dialogue, you're gonna miss a person's name. There's even one of the main girls that I was kind of like, wait, where did this other character that she's connected to come from, specifically in the third act, that I'm not gonna reveal. So unfortunately that kind of knocks it down some pegs to me, but I wouldn't give this anything less than a 7.5. I actually really enjoyed The Kitchen. I think that you're gonna have a lot of fun with it, but it's also very serious, it's very dark. Definitely rated R, but I think that this should have been way more rated R. I think they should have went way more for it. I think they should have went way down the mobster line a little bit more, and I think that if they would have done that, it could have possibly been a classic, to be quite honest with you. Unfortunately, just missed that mark. But that's not to say that this isn't a good movie. I actually really did enjoy it, and I would definitely watch it again. I'm gonna go and talk to my wife and see if she wants to go and check it out whenever we can get a babysitter. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this review. I'll talk to you guys a bit later on. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Make sure you please leave a like. Make sure you hit that bell button, subscribe button. And we got a lot more content coming, a lot more reviews coming, and I cannot wait for you to see what's coming up next. Peace, guys. Yeah, just a small little tagline. I legit have never, and normally you guys don't know, I'm gonna be very quick about this, is I really just do a one take. Like, I never do much editing. I don't say it's a gift, but like, it's never been like a nervousness kind of thing. It's always been kind of like a natural progression, like I'm talking to somebody. But this time around, like, the intro was, I messed up intro. I don't know how many times. I've never messed up intro that much, because for the first time ever, I'm actually, opening up about who I am as a critic, who I am as, an editor and a creator and content creator, director, whatever you want to call it. And, I'm putting a face to a name, you know what I'm saying, or a name to a face, so to speak. And I've never done that, and that's kind of nerve-wracking. So, yeah, definitely go follow me on Twitter at supersel0320. I gotta go. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett with Team JVS. I am here for a review for the movie The Kitchen. So, The Kitchen is based on a comic book series that was developed by DC Vertigo. I can't remember if it was in the early 90s or mid 90s, but this is The Kitchen. I'm gonna do this. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett with Team JVS. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett representing Team JVS. Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett representing JVS. I am here for a review for the DC Vertigo adaptation, The King. Okay. This is SEL0320 representing JVS. Gosh.